Right, can you hear me? I do apologise everyone for how long that has taken me to get this live. It's the first time I've ever done it though, so hopefully you can cut me a little bit of slack. So we're in qualifying at the moment. I think we've got 4 minutes left. And at the moment, we are currently with Morrow. He's top of the leaderboards with a staggeringly fast time of 1:21.7. Let's have a little work through the driver list to see who's doing what. Crab is currently in the... he's coming out of the pits now. We've got Cabras, who is just half a second off the pole time at the moment. Obviously the 3 different classes that people are racing this evening. But pretty much the usual suspects that we're expecting to see at the pointy end of the grid. Porsches definitely seem to be very good around this track. We've got a few of them at the top end there. As BX Royal has managed to take the 3rd spot for the grid start for the start of the race. Well, fantastic for him in the Aston Martin. We'll stay on board with him for a little moment. I'm still just getting used to what the controls are for the keyboard and how to change things and so forth, so bear with me. It's not going to be as slick as when Mike does it, or anyone else for that matter. Coming up to the corkscrew now. It's not him, there we go. It's BX. Get it through just a little bit loose on the drop, but holds it together nicely and continues through. Will we see him make any kind of improvement on this lap? Hello Boyan, thank you for joining. We saw someone off in the background. It's one of the Mustang drivers. So BX comes into the pits. Let's see. No idea who it was. Oh, we can use the numbers for the drivers as well. I forget you can do that on this track. That's really good. Well, whoever it was, I think he's coming to the pits now anyway. So we've got Lincini has had a little bit of an off-road excursion in the M4, we can see. He's got the slip coming down the pit straight. Maybe we'll definitely see an overtake coming through here. He's got to get out of the way, surely Lincini. He does, makes it easy for Cabas to get past. So Laguna Seca then, this is the, I tried to put a few laps on this track this week in an effort to kind of get used to the game, and man, what a difficult track. As soon as you get a wheel onto a little bit of that dirt, you are off into the kitty there, and we can see, who is this? Someone, oh, he's returned to the pit now. So Dozen did have a little off in the final corner, but we missed that one. Very different doing live cons on here instead of doing a replay as usual. Good evening, Druid. Double tasking, not only on the YouTube but also driving as well. Where did I just see? There you are. Suitably impressed, yes. Let's jump on with some of these guys who are still out, trying to finish off their fastest laps. Aero comes along the line, and who have we got left towards the back? Okay, come around in the M4, really nice M4. That's definitely my pick of all the cars, particularly partial to the BMW. Right, so there we go. That is a qualifying over, and then hopefully we will get to a where everybody finished. I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to do with that. Right, I think I need to get rid of myself. How do I get out of this? I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, I don't want to do that, do I? Hopefully, if you're on YouTube and you're watching and you know what you're supposed to do here, put it in the comments. Just let me know how I get out of this race so that I can just spectate. Yeah, I'm not going to quit. I know that's not quite the right thing to do. But how I managed to return to the pit lane, I'm not too sure. That's what I want to do. How can I change that then? Okay, so we'll go through the grid at least anyway. So we've got Morrow at the front. Oh, we're just going to read this from Boy, and then so drive should get enabled for you as well, I believe. Then you should be able to go back to the garage if you need to. But don't quote me. I haven't done this yet. Well, it's a first for all of us, isn't it? So this could quite literally be Car Crash TV. So hang on to your seats, your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, and we will just hang on for a moment and see what is the... Oh, these are interesting camera angles. Anyway, this one looks like it's probably... So we've got Morrow in first place, Crabbers in second place. BX Royal has managed to get himself into third with a really good time in the Aston Martin. Then Cabra starts on fourth, Hollob's in fifth, Leclerc is in sixth,
30 seconds.
Hamaland is in seventh, Popo's in eighth, Donald's in ninth, Chapman's in 10th, Moore's in 11th, Warriors in
20 seconds.
12th. Can I get through this in the next 20 seconds? So we've got Van Otrop in 13th, Frisky 14th, Gonalons in 15th. I can't do it. Kalen in 16th, Loke in 17th, Turney in 18th, Lewicki in 19th. Right, here we go. Oh, good, I'm in the pit lane. So that's good for me. That means I can jump into these guys who have started their formation lap, their short range formation lap. And Morrow is going a little bit slow to crap. JPTV, thanks for joining. Yeah, looks like there were spaces, so should have jumped in. Not too sure who you are within the game, my apologies. However, we have got a full hour of racing. Let's see if I can get rid of that. I'm not entirely too sure how you get rid of all of this information, so you can just spectate the race. But at the moment, this is going to be as good as it gets. We will just have to hope for the best. So BX has gone a little bit deep as well, with quite a big gap through the pack now. Towards the leaders, Gr3 holding everyone up quite nice and tight in line behind him. However, the three at the front definitely going to have to slow up a little bit to close the gap, and here we go. So everyone looks to be getting back together as we head through to the corkscrew. Possibly the trickiest corner on the entire track. Very easy to get wrong from my experience, albeit very little. So starts of the race as we come towards the final corner now to see whether either of these guys at the front can take Morrow heading into the first corner. We've got a very full grid though, so plenty of action bound to happen as we heading across to the start finish line now. There we go, it's the green light and the racing begins. Crab has got just in front of... Oh, Gr3 has had a brilliant start from... was he fourth? I think he was, and he's up into second place already, and he's already got the legs on Morrow as well. So Gr3 and BX losing out on the most in that start of the grid. And so far, it looks like everyone has managed to make it through nice and cleanly. We've got a couple of people off at the bottom of the track. What happened to these guys here? So there's somebody else off as well. I'm not entirely too sure who that is. Oh, who's it? Why is he registering in first place? That's a bit strange. There we go. So he's back down to where he's supposed to be. So we've got Morrow back at the front. Crab is in second. Gr3 third, leading. BX Royal in fourth. Hollobs in fifth. Marland in sixth. Let's get up back to here just to see what these guys are doing. As we've got somebody else off again towards the back of the grid, and that is Billy in the Porsche. Looks like he's got damage on the front of the car already as he pulls over to the side, letting them go by. It's going to be a long, hard race unless he comes into pit at the end of this lap, which is going to be very disappointing for his race hopes. Having that kind of damage at the beginning of the race. How does everyone else manage to get through turn one? See, everyone's making it through pretty clean. That's pretty good. Although we've got somebody else off at the back at the minute, and that is Lewicki again through turn one as well. Perhaps a victim of a little bit of argy-bargy. So, where's that gone? There it is. So we're up with Crab again, and Morrow has managed to put himself a decent sized gap. He's over a second ahead. As Crab goes really deep through there, and the cameraman is doing something really random. So Crab's mistake has managed to let Gr3 and BX Royal back through again, and he's now got Holob right tight up against him behind as well. one. I'm not too sure how I can change the game volume, but I can move my mic a little bit closer. Hopefully that makes my voice a little bit louder. Do let me know if that works out. So Cabras now, Morrow is comfortably ahead of Cabras, over 2 seconds ahead now, but it's still tight between the top 3 or 4 drivers. So we'll drop down to now, we see our leader of the silver drivers, Ganelon's, are comfortably ahead as well of a few of the drivers a tier above him as well, including Popov. Clearly got some pace, and both in the McLaren, so these guys going toe to toe for it, really. They're incredibly good in their skill levels. Ganelon's really showing the amount of speed that he's got, as Popov is really pushing the track limits behind. He's desperate to get past, you can see it. It's in his body language all over. Just 0.4 of a second behind him as well. We've got a Popov fan. Oh, as he gets a little bit loose on the exit, but he manages to hold that one nicely. Yeah, we've got a Popov van in the chat, cheering them on as well. And look at how close he's driving to Ganelon's in front as well. One little mistake and it could go wrong for the pair of them. Oh, he pushes his wide again. Going to give him a little bit dirty tyres. Just about. Well, it doesn't actually seem to have made any difference for him. We drop back down. Who have we got here? I think it's Chapman also looks to be very close behind Fernie as well. We're looking into turn 1. Isn't able to close that gap as much as he would have liked. Kalen's, but gets a little bit of contact on Fitzpatrick, and that pushes. I think that was it Samano wide, or I think it was Groupland that lost out there. We saw him had to take avoiding action in through turn 1, potentially. It's a bit tricky with this game as to where people are, because it doesn't quite update so quickly with it. You see Van Eyck has lost out a place there to Fitzpatrick as well. Van Eyck very much out of position. It looks like he was going for the overtake around the outside of the entrance to the corkscrew, and he's got the move done. That was a brilliant overtake from Van Eyck. Looks to close the gap to Fitzpatrick ahead of him. And he's still got Dozman very close behind. jump on board with Druid for a moment. This guy, one of my old rivals in the Gran Turismo 7 League of Aero League Racing. And man, can that guy defend. At least in my... Oh, as he goes wide! He loses it on the... oh, the cameraman's given up with everything, hasn't he? There we go. Oh, look at the damage. He's really spanked that Lexus to bits. As I think that looked like somebody else behind. It was Black in the BMW also going off out the corkscrew. So costing him quite early on in this race, still only a few laps in. So 6 laps at the moment. Morrow's still leading the race. Still comfortably ahead. Hasn't managed to make the gap any bigger but much yet. Cabras in second place with BX still within a second as well. So these guys running very consistently at the front of the grid. Then we've got Crab in fourth, and Holub looks to be closing that gap. He wants to make a move. Is he going to get any kind of switch back? O'Leary, where is O'Leary? He is 3 laps down. I did not see anything happen with O'Leary, unfortunately, but he's clearly had to come in for some repair work, as has TNE, just ahead of him as well. So these guys really struggling, well, having a bad start to the race at least anyway, not necessarily struggling. But now we see Druid is into the pit lane. He is definitely going to be making some major repairs to his car after that. I mean, look at the damage on it already. Clearly quite visible for all of these. So Van Eyck now is still chasing down Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick has managed to get ahead, I think, of Callion. Or perhaps the other way around. That looked like a heavy one, Chaos. The man of any talent is managing to multitask and comment on the YouTube whilst the race is on. Although he's in the pits. So Van Eyck gets another brilliant overtake done through the corkscrew. And that's opened him back up again to chase Fitzpatrick ahead. So let's see if Fitzpatrick can do anything. Power of the McLaren really helping him come out of the corners. Still with the damage on the side of his car, so he's doing remarkably well with carry on running with that damage. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but the little bar that is next to the player's name, where sometimes it's got a little green square, or if the bar goes up in yellow, does that mean that it's damage? Or is Hayden looks to be getting super loose on the exit of that corner? It can be very difficult if you hit the sausage carrot through that one. Fitzpatrick also looking like he didn't quite get that corner so good. That's going to allow Van Eyck to close the gap massively. And it looked like he was going to have it, but he has to brake a little bit more because he's on the inside line, compromises his exit. So has to try and do it all over again for another lap. As who's in the pit lane now? Is that? Oh, that was Black. Not too sure who got a stop. Oh, so Druid gets a stop and go penalty as well. Oh, that is so disappointing for it. So he has to come in. That must be for speeding in the pit lane. So to add insult to injury for Chaos, he's now 2 laps down from our race leader. Not, well, 3 laps now. Still not last, but certainly not the race he would have envisaged with this one. So let's jump up again to these guys out the front. So BX half a second off Cabras now. Morrow definitely getting a larger gap to Cabras at the front. You can't even see him in the picture as he just comes through the left-hander at the far end of the track. But BX nails the apex on that corner. He's going to have the slip and the speed, but this is not the place to make an overtake. They both get through comfortably. BX really pushing the track limits. You can tell he's on it. Is he going to get anything done through the corkscrew? Both these drivers very, very good and at the top of their game. And it looked like Cabras may have just got that corner wrong. He did. He takes it slightly too tight through the exit of the corkscrew, compromises his line, and BX gets the move done up into second place. Oh, and now Cabras has gone off as well. So now he's got dirty tyres, just to add insult to injury to losing the position to BX. So now it's time for Cabras to get his head down and try to close that gap again to BX. So let's jump down and see how some of these guys are getting. Popov chasing Donald. We saw both of these guys really pushing it just a moment ago, kicking up a little bit of dirt from the side of the track. Moore doing a really good job behind now in 10th place in the Mustang on its home turf, you could say. Certainly is a good looking car. But Gamelons is all over the back of him, making his mirrors. Oh, and Donald looks to get a move. Oh, sorry, no, Popov looks to get a move on Donald. And has he got it done? He has. He's managed to get through. Another overtake done in the corkscrew. Absolutely brilliant overtaking from Popov. And now Gamelons again. Oh, as Donald dives to the inside, and he doesn't quite have enough legs in the Porsche to be able to make that move work. But again, the 4 of these guys on their absolute A game, not to take each other out, as Moore is doing his absolute best to take the opportunity to get past Donald as well. We'll jump on with Moore just for a moment, see how he's getting on, if he can make a move. But he's trying to make a move on Donald in front of him, but all the time he's got to check his mirrors because he's got Gamelons, who's just all over the place in terms of making himself aware to Moore, hoping to perhaps force an error on Moore in some way to get the position. But currently he's very composed and doing a really good job of hanging on to 9th place. Cabras has either made a mistake or has really dropped off the pace of BX in front, because they were only about 4.5. BX and Cabras were only about 4.5 seconds behind Moa at the front of the grid. So now Cabras is 5 seconds behind BX, so almost certainly had some sort of incident somewhere along the track, and it's certainly going to allow some of these guys to fight for that podium position. We've got Auclair in the Ferrari in 4th place, less than a second behind, and Holov less than a second behind him as well, so none of these guys can afford to make a mistake whatsoever, or their positions completely given up. How are these guys getting on? No change for them at the moment, so let's jump down and see how some of these other guys are getting on. Brisk is someone we've not mentioned yet, doing a very good job though, up into 14th. Good position overall. Gozen in 15th. As far as I'm aware, I think the white numbered drivers are the gold class, the grey is the silver class, and the red is the bronze class. Again, do correct me if I'm wrong. It's all a little bit of a baptism of fire. Jumping on doing this at the moment, still quite unfamiliar with the game. As I really like that livery on the Mercedes. Now in 16th place is Samo. Van Eyck is in 17th, and assuming the 14 means he's 14th in his class. Then we've got Fitzpatrick in 18th. In fact, I don't know what these numbers mean. Nancini is in 19th, but not entirely too sure if he's had any of that damage repaired. It doesn't look like it's had much repair work done, but he's still in a fairly respectable position at the moment. Then we've got Lewicki in 20th. Now we've seen him go off a couple of times. I think it was him a couple of times, at least once anyway. So he's down in 20th. Then we've got Buplin, who was, we saw him get a little bit barged off as well earlier in the race, so he's down in 21st. Caraballo in 22nd, just getting out of the way as he gets lapped by BX Royal coming through in his Aston Martin. Oh, I see. Thanks, Brian. So it's sometimes looks worse than it is to drive, so a difference in game then between this and Gran Turismo, the only other game that I've really played, so a lot of this is a comparison to me for that one. The BX getting past Kruppin as well, then we've got Chapman down in 23rd, as it looks like. Is it Turney has got... No, it's not, it's Ganlons. Oh, so he's getting lapped as well, and that's unfortunate. He's flashed his lights there, he wasn't very happy about that overtake. Definitely cost him a little bit more time than he would have liked. So Turney comes across the line in 24th place. Then we've got Druid all the way back in 25th. Very disappointing. He had a good start, actually. 3 laps down, along with O'Leary in 26th. Not too far behind Druid. Just 2.7 seconds. Then we've got Black 5 laps down. So the damage that he sustained earlier in the race has definitely cost him dearly. And that's me in the pit, so no need to look at that one. So we'll jump back up here. And how is BX getting on against Morrow? Look at the difference. And Morrow's already through the corkscrew, and BX still has a lot of traffic to get through before he can get close to that. So there's definitely going to be difficult. We're going to have to see what they can do on the pit stops, if he can close that gap up at all. He's made a couple of tenths, but that's I mean, as we approach in the halfway mark of the race, at that rate he may yet be able to close the gap. Oh, we've got a driver off coming up to, who's that? It's Black again. He is not having a good race. Taking the escape road all the way up there and deciding not to stay on the track as well as he rejoins. Safe rejoin though, fortunately. It does look like he managed to get through that without having any damage, otherwise he would have come straight into the pits. So a race for him goes from bad to worse, as Nencini gets a stop and go penalty as well coming. So that is very disappointing for him. After just having come into the pit lane, he's now got to go through it again. Looks like these guys are all nice and close together. Perhaps we'll stay with these guys just to see if any action happens. But again, the battle for third place still going strong between Parmelan, Auclair and Cabras. Auclair looks like he might even get a position done as we come down into the start-finish straight. Will he have enough of a slip to close the gap and then get a move done into turn 1? We wait and see as Nencini looks to come in and serve his stop-go penalty as well. Fortunately, Auclair not making any move on this lap. Probably have to wait for the hard braking zone of the corkscrew. Oh, that's definitely not going to help him. Oh, as he collects Hammerland as well. Oh, and it's all gone wrong, and Tierney comes off, avoiding action, and that is absolutely ruined it for Tierney. Where is he? So he's down in 23rd. I think he's fortunate that perhaps, I don't think he managed to get any damage with that. Managed to keep it out of the barrier. A little bit of scuffing on the side, but I'm pretty sure he managed to get out of that okay. But that was a big one out the front. But how Hammerland, oh, look at the damage on that as well. Although now it might look worse than it is, but he comes straight into the pit, so that's definitely got to be something bad. It almost goes into the barrier as well. Coming through there as Coupland comes in as well again. So the race not doing too bad, but not doing brilliantly for Coupland. Now then, that cost a lot of these guys as Auclair comes into the pit lane as well, having sustained a huge amount of damage. Look at the side of that Ferrari, absolutely spanked on that one.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
There we go, halfway. Thank you to our pit crew for telling us that one. You can see, looking at the map on the right hand side, everyone seems to be a little bit spread out now, so halfway through the race you see some pit stops happening all through this, and then as we get towards the last few laps we'll see the whole grid come back together for its positions. Jump on with Van Eyck, who's managed to get himself all the way up into 8th place now, 7th place in fact. So this is a really good drive from Van Eyck at the moment, although he hasn't made a pit stop yet. So we still have to just wait and see where he comes out once he's made his pit stops. But so far, a really, really good, solid first stint from Van Eyck. However, very close behind him. 2 seconds to go. So we're definitely going to see that gap close. Trying to see some of the numbers on the mini-map in the right hand side just to see who these guys are. We just saw who's this. It's Holub making a move on Druid. Druid being a courteous driver and getting out of the way for some of the faster drivers. You can see a lot of drivers now in the pit lane at the moment. So at the front of the pack, Morrow is now in 5th place, the overall leader, but is yet to make it. Oh, is it? Green is yet to make it. No, sorry, Green is to have made a pit stop, and Orange is yet to make a pit stop. So So BX has somehow managed to pull a fast one on Morrow and got him through the pit stops. So this is excellent news for BX. That was a large gap as well that he managed to close. So unless Morrow had some kind of incident somewhere along the track around his pit phase, we'll have to wait and see. So Van Eyck now is up into third, so he definitely hasn't had a pit stop. That must be what the 1 is for. A little indicator. I think he might be our last driver that needs to make his pit stop. So we'll definitely see him drop down a little bit in the grid. But he continues on for another lap. Fairly comfortable with his strategy choice at the moment. Perhaps it's for him, maybe it's thinking that if he's holding on to third place, all these guys that he is coming around. Oh, as Cabras just absolutely nails it around turn 1. Almost looked like Van Eyck was just giving him the position. Oh, I see, boy. So, right, okay. So changing tyres isn't compulsory. I really should have read the rules and so forth before doing this. Right then. So Van Eyck gave that position up, but he has continued on for another lap. So as we're saying, perhaps he's trying to use this as an opportunity to get all the other drivers in front of him blue flagged, and then he can make easier overtakes whilst he's got that advantage, and then as he comes in for his pit stop nearer the end of the race, he's made positions on those guys basically for free. Oh, there we go. So it's Fitzpatrick. And he's got Druid ahead of him as well. With these guys racing in the same class. And although they're in the same class, they're not on the same lap, unfortunately. We will wait and see whether or not Druid makes this easy for Fitzpatrick if he catches up. Do let me know if the stream is working okay. I'm just having a little bit of buffering issues at my end. The last thing we need is for all of this to come crashing down. So Morrow's still an 8/10 gap behind BX. So if Morrow, as Boyer says, if Morrow did take tyres and BX didn't, then although BX is doing a good job on his pace at the moment, then is there a way? That's the what I want to look at. Here's that. So yeah, bit of a shame can't get the live lap delta up again. If you know how to. Oh, who was that that's just gone off? Number 27. It's Nencini again, and that BMW is looking a little bit worse for wear. Got a bit of a rash on it now at the front of that. Look at that. Definitely been through the wars. Really good graphics with all the tyre splatter over it. Very realistic and authentic. So Nencini's race is definitely not one to remember. He's not going to be terribly happy with that. Black, again, some significant mistakes that have cost him in that very difficult track there. Got to remember that. One of the worst tracks for getting it wrong, because there is just no room to make a mistake, and if you do go off the track, then the penalty for it is absolutely massive. So not as easy as somewhere like I don't know, Catalonia or something like that, where it's loads of runoff and a much safer track, should we say. However, this is the penultimate round, I believe, of the season. So with most of these guys, it is getting to a nail-biting finish with the points. So Cabras we saw making an overtake, or coming up to make an overtake on Nencini. See the difference in lines between these guys as Nencini pulls out of the way nice and respectfully for Cabras to go through. Now 11 seconds behind Morrow. The battle for the third place seems to have resolved itself. It's firmly Cabras's position now, and we can see that Van Eyck has made his pit stop now and comes out in 14th. So he's actually done pretty well out of that. I believe he started quite a bit lower than that, so a really good amount of positions made moving forward. Ganelons was fighting with another McLaren driver earlier on, and I think that might have been Fitzpatrick. I can't remember. Fitzpatrick's McLaren really does look to have a few battle scars now. Leary is coming up to lap Nencini, Black, sorry. Different BMW driver. But it is not for position. It's Druid that's ahead of O'Leary at the moment. So perhaps some fierce rivalries between these two guys. Or maybe some gentlemanly racing. So we'll give some of these guys who haven't had much screen time yet. So Warrior here in 9th place with a remarkably clean looking Aston Martin. No scratches or dents on his motor. So he's had a nice clean race. And then we've got Van Ogtrop in front in the Lexus as well, also looking remarkably clean. Looks like he's even been through the car wash. There's nothing on it. Absolutely spotless, which is just the race he probably wanted to have. And he's looking to come up past O'Leary as well, and he's closing that gap up remarkably fast. O'Leary pulls out the side and lets him through. That's the kind of racing that we like to see. How quick or how long will it take? You can see the difference in line between these two drivers, between Ogtrop and Fitzpatrick behind. Was it Fitzpatrick? No, it was O'Leary, sorry. Through the corkscrew, Van Ogtrop taking a lot more curb through that. Black pulls over as well. Doesn't want to give away the position too easily, or at least not lose too much speed, because then he's got O'Leary behind as well. Although he'll get out of the way quickly for him as well. So Drew, having had his car repaired, looking a lot better. As he comes up towards Nencini, gets that. Oh, that BMW does look absolutely baffled. Drew just takes a little bit too much curb there, and we've seen Nencini coming into the pit lane. Has he had another off? And has come in to repair yet more damage? If so, that is very disappointing. Oh, we missed it, but Morrow has managed to get that position back from BX. I do apologise for missing that one. I'm sure BX isn't taking that one lying down, so we'll jump on board with him, see if he gets anything done before the end of the race. But I think O'Leary's prediction about not taking tyres may have been the reason, because it would certainly explain how Morrow could make it past, unless BX has made an uncharacteristic mistake. Both these guys absolutely nailing their apexes through the corkscrew, really pushing it to the very limit of the track. Maximum attack from BX. Will Van Eyck in front of them do anything to help BX make a move whilst he gets out of the way? Well, will Van Eyck do this? gets out of the way in a good, timely fashion. Doesn't cost anybody anything. Only half a second between these guys now. Just over 10 minutes left to go of this race. BX can't afford to make a mistake though, because Cabras is still only 12 seconds behind, so one little mistake and that will basically throw that second position away as well. Popov has the fastest lap, apparently. I don't know how you can find that. If you know how I can do that, then let me know how to change the view. But at the moment, it does look like Morrow is able to make the most of his fresher tyres and is now starting to make a bigger gap to BX in second place. Cabras still not able to close the gap though, slightly increasing to 13 seconds. BX has actually managed to close that gap quite significantly. Quarter of a second closed up from there. There's a little bit of contact. Morrow must have got the corkscrew wrong. And BX has made the absolute most of that. Gets it a little bit off, and then Cheney's off again as well in the background. Van Eyck coming up close behind him. And this is it. I think unless Morrow can do something miraculous now, he's done it once already, but he's got to do it all over again. 0.6 of a second, the fresher tyres. And we said it earlier. The purple, of course. So Popov getting the fastest lap with the purple sector. Thank you very much for that. How do you say your name? CM Puggy? I don't know. So thank you for your insight there. Assuming this is similar in the point scoring system, that fastest lap will get you an extra point, as one of the Ferrari drivers takes a slightly different racing line through there. So Donald getting out of the way for both the front end drivers, BX and Morrow. And now we've got another marker. It's Chapman, who's had a solid but quiet race in the Ferrari. And I'm sure uneventful for him, but that's exactly what he would have wanted, really. Nothing to compromise his race too much. So let's just jump on board with him for a moment, because he has got Donald fighting for position, so having to choose his spot to let Morrow and BX through carefully, and it doesn't seem to have allowed Donald any room to get past or to close that gap, because it's already gone up by another 10 just in a few corners. So Chapman's doing a really good drive at the moment. Is Turkey driving? I thought that actually. What have we got? No, it doesn't look like he's on the list at the moment. maybe it was earlier, and there's a disconnect. So we jump back up with Morrow, still half a second behind BX, not really able to close that gap. Cabras in third, a country mile ahead. So Nincini's accident that we saw just the tail end of, where we saw the damage on the BMW, has clearly cost him a huge amount of time in the pit lane, because he's dropped behind Black, who is now promoted up into 25th place, as he lets Chapman by and Donald as well. Both those guys fight for position further up in the grid. O'Leary right up behind Druid now. These guys fighting for position as well. I'll stick with these guys just for a moment. See what O'Leary can do. What does it look like? Druid got that corner all kinds of wrong, and that's allowing O'Leary to close the gap even more. He's now down to less than half a second. Indeed, Boyan. Clearly the talent runs strong with them. So Patrick takes the slightly shorter route, as does Druid, through the corkscrew. Oh, what happened to O'Leary? He's completely given up and he's gone off. Why did he do that? Unless he saw, he didn't see what happened, and maybe he just got the corner wrong, and just spat him out. So that has allowed Druid a huge amount of breathing space as he pulls to the side and lets Cloquet through. Oh, he doesn't let him through. There we go. On the braking, lets him past, as does Auclair as well. Who is that behind? It wasn't that one. It's Frisk in the number 84 car in the Mustang. And following up behind them is our race leader, and it looks like Morrow is right close against BX again. We've got a couple of guys off track, coming up through the corkscrew, or outside the corkscrew, sorry. As these two have got a lot of traffic ahead of them again. This might start playing into Morrow's hands. Just probably only a couple of laps left. 2 or 3 laps, absolute maximum 3 laps. Can Morrow make a move? Look at the traffic ahead of them. Druid just completely gives up and gets out of the way. Doesn't want to have anything to do with this. Frisk now is going to have to bail coming through turn 1. You see he pulls wide. BX still in the slip. Dives to the inside. Morrow getting his braking a little bit closer. Look how close it was, almost contact coming through the first corner. Or second corner, depending on how you count it. Morrow really pushing, less than 0.3 of a second between these guys. And Frisk is trying to stay in their slipstream, but he's just not quick enough to be able to do it. The pace of these guys is absolutely electric. Can Morrow do this? He'll have probably one more lap to do this. Cloquet pulls out the way to let the two of them through. We've got Fitzpatrick overhead. Oh, Morrow gets it wrong. Almost had a bit of contact with Cloquet, but manages to recover, gets past Fitzpatrick. Look at the gap. I think that may have cost him a little bit too much. So unless we see something happen, a gap nearly a full second now, unless BX makes some huge mistake, I think this is going to be it from our drivers. I think that was one of the Nancini just completely exits the track to get out of the way. Golden Warrior now, the next person. What will see him do? I think he's really quick. As it happens, he's in 10th place, so it may be, as Morrow's really pushing, getting loose on the exit, gets onto the dirt as well. He's not able to do it. He's flashing his lights at BX. He's acknowledging a good race between these two guys. And there he is. There is your race leader coming across the line. It's BX Royale gets first place at Laguna Seca. Morrow comes across the line in second place. Cabras is going to get third place as he comes over through the final corner and then across the start-finish line. An excellent race for him as well. Hollab, we've not seen much of. Apologies for not getting any screen time for him, so he gets fourth place. And then we've got Hamlin and Moore after 43 laps. The two of these guys, less than a second between them, so Moore gets sixth place as well. Popov with the fastest lap in seventh. Then we've got Van Ogtrop in eighth place, coming round the penultimate corner, or up to the penultimate corner now, and there we go, last one, and across the start-finish line for him in the Lexus, so that's eighth place. Then O'Clair is in ninth place, not far behind, eighth in front of him, and that is it. So then we've got Cloquet in 10th, Warriors in 11th, Chapman's in 12th, Donald's in 13th, Van Eyck's in 14th, Simano's in 15th, Dozen's in 16th. Lewicki's in 17th, Fitzpatrick gets 18th, Frisk gets 19th, Kruplin gets 20th. However, that's as much as I can see, and so that'll have to do for you guys. So that was a really exciting race, all sorts of things happening. Again, my sincere apologies for my lack of ability with the video footage. I will endeavour to do better and learn what I'm supposed to do before next week. So thanks everyone for watching. I think that's it from out. I don't have the standings either, so I can't give you that. This is where you'll be able to tell that Mike does a much better job than I do. However, I think you can check the sim grid and you'll see the standings on there. So thanks very much for tuning in, and we will see you next week for the final race. Thanks for watching.